She's sassy, but she's oh so classy. It's time for Unapologetically Pandora.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Pandora Rain on another episode of Unapologetically Pandora. Today, we will be discussing how to reclaim the block, the new age of Black business and urban economic development. You can reach me on Spotify, Apple, Anchor, Breaker, Castbox, Pocket Cast. I'm on quite a few platforms, so gotta put in that plug. But yeah, so we're gonna be discussing that because we are in a unique time in history, right? Where we, as a community, Black people, urban communities, communities of color, where it's time where we demand certain things that we have been shut out of and locked out of. So I will be bringing on special guests from the 10K Project, the10kproject.com. You can reach them at there. And then I will be providing links and information when we, on Facebook on how you can reach them. So let's get ready for another episode of Unapologetically Pandora. So I am very excited to have you all here. Again, as I said, thank you so much for participating in this. So tell me more about the 10K Project. Give me a brief scenario. Guys, have at it.
Absolutely. So the 10K Project is a community of Black investors who are funding Black businesses for as little as $100. So when we start talking about building wealth, rebuilding Black Wall Street, rebuilding our communities, this is going to be the foundation of us doing that. Okay. And we are, super excited because we have an opportunity to not only profit from our own innovations as just individuals within the community, but we also have the ability to create more jobs, to help close the wealth gap, and most importantly, help fund those Black businesses that are the economic engine of the community. So the simple idea is when 10,000 of us get together, we put in $100 each, that's $1 million. We could start funding our own businesses. Mm-hmm. And the way that it works is we're something called an equity crowdfunding platform. Fancy term, but it's really simple. So crowdfunding is when a bunch of people get together and they put in small amounts of money in order to raise money for a specific purpose. So you've seen GoFundMe, for example, where people will put small amounts of money in for, funerals or things like that. However, when you do that, it's really great. You feel great that you've done something, but there's no ownership on that. There's no return on investment on that. We're different in that you would be helping to fund businesses. And in exchange for that, you get ownership in those companies. So it's the 10K Project, the10kproject.com. And we're here tonight. I'm here with two of my co-founders. I'm the CEO. I should have said that. I'm Cherie. Hi. And I'm here with the Chief Operating Officer, Tawana Rivers, and the Chief Technology Officer, Talisha Shine.
Oh, great. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited. Does one become a member?
Well, very simple. You come to our website, the10kproject.com, and there is a investor button and you can click and just click to become a member. But before we do that, you kind of have to take a step back and ask yourself, what is the real process of becoming a member, and why would you want to become a member in this, and exactly how does it work? So if you don't mind, I kind of like to run people through that, because I break it down to like 5 steps. So the first thing with the 10K project is to become a part of our community. You need to become a member. And with membership, it is a one-time payment of $100, and that is for a lifetime. You'll never be charged for membership again to be a part of the community. When you become a part of the community, you get investor education. So we talk about various things, from Black wealth and Black economics to how to create a family bank, family offices, all the way to financial literacy 101, repairing your credit, making more money, saving more, budgeting, creating a wealth plan. How many of us actually have something like that? So, the whole gamut you will discover within our platform. Then part 3 is being able to hear the pitches, similar to Shark Tank, if your team has watched that, or your community. Similar to Shark Tank, entrepreneurs come to the platform in order to raise money. They will do a live presentation in front of the entire community. They'll talk about their business, how long they've been in business, what kind of product or service do they have? Are they making any money? Who's on their team? How much money are they raising? What are they going to do with the money? When do we get our money back? How do we get our money back, etc. And each individual investor, each member of the community, has the ability to decide if they want to bet on that Black business. So we call it bet on Black pitches, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you as an investor have the option of investing $100, $200, even more into that business, or saying, you know what, that business isn't for me. And the reason may not have anything to do with the entrepreneur. It may be that it's a business that you don't know enough about. It may be it doesn't fit in your portfolio. So for whatever reason, you can say, you know what, I like this business. I want to put money into that, or I want to pass. Then part 4 is the entrepreneurs on our platform get business support after they are funded. Okay. So imagine this entrepreneur gets $500,000. Then what do? Right? Because so many of us, if we get this money and we don't have the teams and the people who could help us get on the shelves of Target or Walmart, for example, or get those government contracts we've been looking for, or whatever it is we're looking for, the social media marketing assistance that we need. We have resources for those businesses that they can tap into to get the support that they need after they are funded. Now, we cannot force any business to use these resources. However, they are available, and we do encourage the businesses to take a look at those resources and utilize them, because you're taking the community's money, you're taking these support, the support after funding, and the whole idea is for you to grow the business, right? And in part 5 is a return on investment. So we tell entrepreneurs to expect anywhere from 7 to 10 years to get your money back. This is a long-term game. Just like you can't close the wealth gap in 2 weeks, we can't expect for entrepreneurs to turn that money around very, very quickly. So 7 to 10 years, but we also tell investors you need to be prepared to lose it all, because these are riskier investments. But again, I'm going to loop you back to the education. In the education portion, once you become a member, you get the education, you get best practices. So how professional investors look at deals in order to determine if they want to fund those deals. You will get that kind of training in the education section. So that is why you want to be a part of this, because we're truly building an ecosystem, and we are doing something that is going to revolutionize the community.
So is this, because again, like I said, I am totally unaware of any business or investing. I am a baby when it comes to that. What are there any other businesses like this, or is this like one of a kind?
Tawana?
You want me to take that? So there absolutely are businesses just like this. What makes us unique is that we are truly building this platform for the Black entrepreneur and the Black investor. Right. And that is our mission, is to build the Black community. Now, you know, all money is green. So yes. if investors of other ethnicities believe in this community and love this community and want to do right by this community, they are welcome to invest in our Black businesses as well. Mm-hmm. But only Black businesses will be featured on our platform. So there are other crowdfunding platforms in the space, actually quite a few. And many of them have a niche. Like there's one for cannabis, there's one for real estate, you know, and then there are some that just handle the gamut. But to our knowledge, our research has not found any that are equity crowdfunding platforms that cater to just the Black investor. And we welcome more, right? Because again, the community benefits from this more than anyone else does. And that's the goal.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, we welcome more, but don't do exactly what we're doing.
So anyone can pretty much invest. So like me, if I just had $100, I could just say, here's $100 and get the education. And wow, absolutely. It's that easy.
Yes, it is. And, you know, one of the things that happens on a lot of other crowdfunding portals is you will have a minimum of $1,000, for example, or $700 or $500 in order to participate in the crowdfunding on these other platforms. Our platform wanted to be affordable because we wanted to be for the people. Right. So that's why we've chosen $100. And every entrepreneur that comes to the platform agrees that the minimum amount that an investor is able to put in is $100, because that affordability is so important to us.
Okay. So, I have another question.
Sure.
So how do you sustain, so just $100 one-time fee, and you don't have to invest anything else? Like, how do you continue to generate money for the business?
Ooh.
So you want me to take that? So,
go ahead, Tawana.
so the initial $100 is for membership, right?
Okay.
That's where what I like to say is the seat at the table. You get the investor education, right? Mm-hmm. Which is well beyond $100 value. I mean, we've put the library together of everything we want to include. And it's like, whoa, you know, these are thousands of dollars that people would pay if they were paying separately for the education alone. Mm-hmm. But the seat at the table, in my opinion, is the big deal, because so often we hear about all of these amazing companies that have made millions and billions of dollars. And by the time it gets to the open market where we can buy stock, you know, all the real money has been made. It's been made by those early investors.
Right.
And so that's what we're trying to build here, right? We want to be the early investors. We want our community to be the early investors. Mm-hmm. So the initial $100 is for membership. And then, as Cherie talked about the pitches, as we highlight the businesses, the investors that are in the community, that are members of the community, will then have the opportunity to invest in every one of those businesses if they choose to.
Okay.
And the minimum to invest in a business would be an additional $100 on top of that membership $100. And, you know, in the beginning phases, we'll highlight one business a week. If someone wanted to invest in all of them, they could. We only ask one thing, is that our investors be responsible. You know, we don't want mortgage money. We don't want rent money. We don't want pamper money. We don't want grocery money. You know how we do trying to get the come up. We bet it all on Black all the time, because that's what we know how to do. We take risks and then we're resilient. But we want to do things differently with this, right? We want people to take this slow. So that's why the education is important, because we're going to teach people, how do you save disposable income? How do you create a budget so that you have disposable income that you can then invest later, right? It's a journey. It's not a trip, right? It is a complete journey that we want to take people on, because what we're trying to do is close the wealth gap. And you can't do that overnight, and you can't do that irresponsibly, right? It has to be strategic. And so, you know, so that's how ultimately the investors' portfolios grow, because they get equity in multiple companies with that small investment. And they can invest more if they'd like. And there's some caps to that the SEC puts in place. You make a certain amount of money annually and your net worth, you know, they have some maximums. But the minimum we did think was important to have that $100, because it was an affordable number that we believe most people in the community can save so that they can participate in these pitches and in the business investments. From a business model, you know, how the 10K then makes money is, you know, there will be a fee for entrepreneurs to join the platform, right? Because for them, you know, we talked about the business development and all of the things we're also going to provide to them. So there is a fee that they would pay to be on the platform, to have the opportunity to raise this money. And I want to just stop there for a second and talk about, you know, what that money is. Right now, the maximum that a company can raise based on the SEC guidelines is $1,070,000. A few months back, the SEC met and really talked seriously about increasing that to potentially $5 million. Now, we don't know where they're going to land with that, but that's a lot of money and a lot of opportunity that these small businesses can, you know, that can make the world of difference on how they scale their business, how they put money into marketing, how they get the manufacturing plant they've been wanting to get, right? So we're talking life-changing opportunities for these businesses. And so in addition to the businesses paying a fee, the platform will also, you know, take a small amount of equity in the business as well, because we're not allowed to invest in the business as the platform.
Oh, okay. So that's okay. I think I'm kind of getting it. No, I'm like seriously, I'm amazed by this, because I don't know anything. So because I've been hearing a lot of people talk about, oh, investing in this company, especially during the pandemic, especially with everyone kind of like with all what's going on right now. Oh, I'm investing in this company. I'm going to invest in what is Starbucks or things like that. And I'm like, I wouldn't even know what to do. You know, I wouldn't even know, like, how much am I supposed to invest? Like, so the education component sounds very interesting, because for $100, you're going to learn all of that. So all the questions that I have right now, I'm going to walk away with $100 knowing what I need to do.
Exactly. And even if you never take the first step to making an investment on the portal, right? Just being in the ecosystem, you know, not only will we have those courses, we're having speakers lined up to come, people who do this for a living, right? People who are financial literacy coaches, people who create wealth plans, people who believe in Black economics and the power of us doing this together. You know, we've got a great lineup that's coming as well. And that's just the education, right? And so much that can be learned by just even watching the pitches. You know, somebody may sit back for the first 4 or 5 weeks of pitches and not do a thing but observe. And that's smart, in my opinion, right? Check out the landscape, you know, and just see what's going on and how it all works.
Right. Okay. So how did you guys come up with this idea? Where was the creative process and like, you know what, let's do this? How did this start?
So an interesting thing happened. Okay, so I was a business plan writer for a decade. I wrote business plans for all sorts of businesses, every ethnicity, every industry that's out there. I've written hundreds of business plans. And whenever someone came to me and said, I want to write this business plan, I would ask them, you know, what are you writing it for? And most times people would say, I want to get money, I want to get funding. And who are you going to ask for this funding from, right?
Mm-hmm.
People from other ethnicities would say, I got aunt so-and-so, uncle so-and-so. You know, my best friend is a venture capitalist, whatever it is. Cherie, I can take your business plan and I can go here and I can get the check. I just need you to write it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
People from our community, a lot of times didn't have those connections. And they had, hustle, they pushed themselves, they grinded, but they just didn't have the connections of people who could stroke those checks.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
for 2 years, the co-founders and I were part of a group. And I was saying for 2 years, 10,000 of us got together, we put in $100 each, that's $1 million. We could start funding our own businesses, And I'm saying this because I want someone else to do it. And finally, in a meeting, a closed meeting with just the 5 of us, Tawana says, when are you going to do something about that? I was like, I was still looking around for somebody else to do it. Like, who, me? But finally, I said, I don't want to do it by myself. This is something that's, huge and monumental. And they said, well, we'll do it with you.
Awesome.
Let's do this. And this was pre-COVID. This was pre-George Floyd. Who would have known?
Yeah.
When we had started really talking about this at the end of last year, 6 months ago, that this is where we would be today. And yet when things started happening with COVID, we had a meeting and said, is this a good time? And I said, yes, it's a good time. We just have to go for it. We have to move because of, we just have to do it, right?
Yeah. And
now looking back, I think all of us can agree that now is the best time for us to be launching this.
Yes.
So that's where the idea came from. And the truth is, without these 2 ladies here and my other 2 co-founders, there's no way that I personally would have been able to do this. They are some of the most wonderful, supportive, professional, keep their word people. And I've worked with a lot of business people, and so many people don't keep their word. They don't grind as hard as you do. They don't push as hard as you do. And this team does. And I know that we're about to do amazing things for the community.
I think that's really awesome. And that's what we need. We definitely, like you said, with everything, we need community, and we have to push each other to greatness. We have to get away from the old ways of thinking and start to align as a people to get that, to get the generational. You giving us a seat at the table. We need to pull up a chair.
Yes. You got it. You got the point.
No, seriously. So I'm excited. I'm not trying to see, when can I put in my $100? Even if I don't invest, I think this knowledge is beneficial, because at least we can share with others who might be able to do that investing or want to take it that step further. Financial literacy is so important, and I think we don't have it yet. We're the biggest consumers. We buy all the products, but as far as having our own businesses, we don't have it. We're consumers.
And
go ahead.
Often that's really because I was gonna say, so often that's really because that they don't have the support, right?
They don't have the money.
They don't have the money, the financial support, and or the support of someone to say, I got you. I'll do this with you. I'll help you, right? Mm-hmm. And that shouldn't stand in the way of innovation and amazing ideas and technologies that can change the world. Like, money shouldn't be an option in this country, right? Where we know is wasted every day and how much of it is wasted. That shouldn't be holding Black people back from being able to excel. But it does. Every day it does.
And then you also factor in the disparities with getting funding or getting business loans or, those type of things. There's so much disparity in that. Just like with the COVID, a lot of Black-owned businesses and smaller businesses did not get that, the PPP loan? Is that what it's called? They didn't get that, but the big corporations did, and
Well, so let me comment on that because I have an opinion. So
okay.
now we'll start getting
I
to
welcome
opinions
all
here.
opinions.
My opinion is that we are not organized with our economics, therefore we're not organized in other areas. So if you look at how the big boys work, when they need to pull a consortium together in order to pay a lobbyist to go and lobby on their behalf, guess what? The checkbooks come flying out, right? They're not sitting there hesitating, asking who's running the money, who's got this, who's got, it's like, no, we need that law passed. Come over here, lobbyists. This is what we're looking for. You go, you make it happen, right? They also employ enough people. They employ enough people that they make a difference. Walmart employs, I think, 2 million people or something like that. When Walmart stands up and says XYZ, guess what?
That's true.
Our businesses can have the same impact, but it starts with economics. And that is, so I'll never be a political person. You'll never see me, rah, rah, rah around the PAC or political action committee or anything like that. But I'm aware that if you want to start looking at how do we get access to PPP, how are our businesses' economic rights protected, it comes from us having a base, an economic base, and all being on the same level and all agreeing to whatever it is we need to agree to, and then putting the resources behind them so that our voices can be heard, whether it's on the city level, state level, et cetera.
I see those seeds being planted though. I mean, this movement that is upon us, it is amazing to watch. I mean, these young people are not playing games, okay? They just aren't. And they are coming together in ways that I would never have thought was possible, but it's happening right in front of our eyes. When 1 million people can get together and say, on this day, we're not going to do this one thing and let's all get in sync, or, 1 million people getting together saying, we're not going to shop at this place because they've been silent too long about what's going on from a racism standpoint. Like, that's happening in front of us.
It is.
And so I'm hopeful that we'll get it together and start moving together and make a difference.
I think we are.
Yeah,
and
that's what I said.
But I will say this
time.
as well. I'm sorry?
No, I was just going to say, this is like the prime time to do what you guys are doing.
And I call it the mighty few. So, we're starting with wanting 10,000 people in our network. I have no doubt in my mind we'll get to 1 million people within 2 years. And out of 40 million, 1 million is like a subsection. However, these are the mighty few that are getting together saying, hey, you know what? We can do it. We can come together. And there's a saying that little hinges open big doors or something like that. And what that means is by people coming in, you don't even have to put your $100 into every deal. But coming in a few times a year and saying, hey, I like that. I want to put my $100 into this. I want to put my $100 into that. Then all of a sudden we've got, hundreds, if not thousands of businesses that we're funding every year. And then from there, you're going to have, the business support, and you're going to have the money circulating within the community, and you're going to have, hopefully, prayerfully, many of these businesses become sustainable, succeed, employ, see our youth unemployment go down. I would love to see that in my lifetime, right? And then you begin to see, okay, I see how my $500 a year spread out over 5 different investments has made a huge difference in Black America. And, if I'm just a part of that, then I'm going to be so excited and feel like I've left a legacy for the community,
Yeah.
So.
That's great. Miss Talisha, is that how you pronounce your name? You've been quiet.
I'm the tech person. I'm in the back.
Oh, okay.
I just power everything. So
Got you. So I'm on your fact sheet. I'm gonna ask a couple of questions. Is this the same as the Tulsa Real Estate Fund? I don't even know what that is. What is the Tulsa Real Estate Fund? And then explain what you guys are in comparison.
So the Tulsa Real Estate Fund is actually an investment fund that a gentleman, Jay Morrison is his name. He created this fund to invest in real estate, but he comprised this fund of Black investors.
Oh.
But they are a fund, right? And they invest in real estate. So the answer to that is no, we're not like Tulsa Real Estate Fund in the sense of, you know, we will have entrepreneurs on our platform from all industries, right? Not just one industry.
Okay.
And we are a true crowdfunding platform. So the businesses come on our platform and they raise money for their businesses, and then people invest in them. So we are different from them. The same in the stance of empowering the community. You know, that we share in common with them, because that's their mission as well, as to build the community, to grow wealth, and you know, leave inheritances to our children and just do better economically. In that regard, we do have similar missions.
Okay. So do you have any entrepreneurs, that you guys have invested in already?
So currently, we are waiting for SEC approval.
Okay.
So with equity crowdfunding, you do have to be approved by the SEC, and that's the Security Exchange Commission. And so right now, we are creating and building the criteria guide for the entrepreneurs. We're building the community of investors, and laying all of the foundational work on the business. We just recently hired an SEC attorney that's helping us through that process. And working on the marketing and getting the word out, because we believe this is a powerful message. Usually the SEC approval takes about 6 months or so. We are favored and blessed, so we're hoping that process for us take even a little less. But we're super excited that once we do launch, and we're hoping to launch fall or fall of 2020 or early 2021.
Okay.
Based on that SEC approval. And once we launch, we'll be ready to move full swing ahead with the entrepreneurs. And we're just building those partnerships, getting that education down, right? Deciding which one we want to include, you know, and making sure that it's as hearty and as beneficial as we really want it to be.
Okay. So are you guys accepting membership now, or are you waiting till launch?
No, we're actually accepting membership now. Go ahead, Sheree.
I was ditto to Juana. We are accepting, not only are we accepting membership now, we're asking the community to become a member early, to be a part of this. We would call them the founding members. That's so important for us for a couple of reasons. Number one is the average entrepreneur has to not only come to our counterpart crowdfunders with all of their documents in place, but they also have to come to the platforms with a crowd. We want to bring a crowd. We want to create the largest community of Black investors who want to fund Black businesses. So we want the crowd to come now, so we have time to educate. We have time to teach you how to look at an investment, you know, offer information with regards to personal finance and things like that, because some people may need a few months to, you know, get their budgets together and things like that. So all of those things, we as a community need to make sure that when the entrepreneurs are ready to go, that the investors are ready to go, and everyone's ready to go. So becoming a member early just helps us, you know, have that commitment. The second thing is that the more members we have, the more members we'll be able to attract as well. So, we are going to, so all 5 of us, our founders, have invested money into this 10K project, into the legal process, etc. We are able to reinvest the money that members give us to market to more members. So if we start off with 100,000 members, then we can quickly accelerate from 1 business a week to 2 businesses a week to 3 businesses a week to multiple businesses a week. The more members we have, the more entrepreneurs we're able to bless. So that's the reason why we want to have members come on as quickly as possible. So plug, you can come to the10kproject.com today and click on the investor button, and it says become a member, and click on that. It's $100. You'll never be charged for membership again.
Great. Now, when I emailed, there was a downloadable ebook.
Yes.
Some sort.
Yes.
Explain what the content in that, and when someone comes to your page and subscribe, what do they get?
Yes, so when you come to our website, you are able to download our ebook. And in that ebook, it has our plan outlined. What we're doing, what does crowdfunding mean, how this works, some of the best practices for investors, some of the best practices for entrepreneurs, and so much more is in that ebook. But it is a quick read. I think it's like 15 pages. It's not very long. But it really does give the reader an opportunity to just understand what we're doing. So I would encourage people to get the ebook and take a look at it. We want people to feel comfortable with the 10K project and who we are, and feeling comfortable with the ecosystem, because next to people's kids, we know their money is very important to them.
Right.
And that ebook kind of lets you understand where we're coming from, and most importantly, where we're headed.
Okay, great. Now, do you guys have a Facebook page or IG
Yes.
page, Twitter?
Excellent question. Yes, we do. We are on all platforms at Black 10K Project. Black 10K Project.
Okay.
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram. We don't have a active Twitter yet, but we do have a YouTube page. We have Periscope, and and then on LinkedIn, you can find me, Cherie Warwick. I'm active on LinkedIn too.
Okay, so I definitely will be subscribing. Now, how often do you hold these? Because I saw you guys on a live feed. So how often do you guys have this where you're disseminating this information, where people could come to your page and check you out?
Sure. So we do it once a week. We do it every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
And the founders and I get together. We talk to the community. We let everyone know, who we are, so that everyone's kind of up to date. We give announcements. We talk about people who are coming to the platform in order to give presentations to us. We had an interesting conversation actually last night about the billionaire Robert Smith. So some of you may know that he was the gentleman that gave the Morehouse students paid their college student loans off a couple of years ago. Well, he came up with something called the 2% solution, and we had a very lively debate about that. And he talked about how corporations could truly help Black businesses. And again, we had a great discussion about that. So sometimes we talk about Black economics, and sometimes we talk about personal finance. And most of the time we answer questions during that session. So as people have questions, that's one of the ways that they are able to get those questions answered, but not the only way. You can come to our website. You can post a question in Facebook at any time, or on Instagram at any time. DM us. We're fairly active.
Great. So I definitely will subscribe to the page. So when you do go live, I can post it and help promote you guys as well.
Yes,
I have a pretty large following. I as far as Facebook and Instagram, and I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So we're like
Yeah,
everywhere.
so look, please, we definitely want to get in front of the Deltas. My grandmother was a Delta, so
Okay.
please. And I would
Okay, so are you guys? I know you guys are all Black owned. Is it all Black women?
No, we have
Okay.
we
have
do
one
have
gentleman.
we have one gentleman, yes.
Okay.
But we also have another gentleman as a team member, and I will say we love Black men. So Black men, if you want to be a part of the 10K project and a part of our team, we would welcome you.
Yes, we need community.
The
Everyone.
community, yes, we
So is
do.
there anything else that you would like to share? That we leave anything out?
I don't think so. I just really want to say thanks to you, Keela, for having us here today. We really appreciate it. And we don't take anybody for granted. We don't take anything for granted. You know, we want to work hard for everybody in the community. And, you know, thank you so much for having us. If your community has questions, please feel free to ask us. And the greatest gift you can give us is the gift of membership and being a part of our community and our ecosystem, because we're going to do great things.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm excited for you guys, and I'm like really seriously now. I'm gonna go back and really just stalk your 10K project page and try to get as much information as I can. I might be the one asking all the questions.
And that's okay.
That's okay. Yes.
I'm on several platforms and several podcast groups, so I will also promote you guys inside there because they may want to have you. So I feel like if we build a network, even across industries, that's how we become powerful.
That's it. That's it. I mean, I think the time is now and the people are us. It's really that simple. We get to take care of ourselves. We don't have to wait for anyone any longer.
Right. So I'm thankful because like I said, you guys are like my first official outside of my friends.
We're your friends too. We are your friends too.
Yes. Well, especially now because like I said, I'm going to be on that page. So I really thank you all so much. I'm just loving to see this melanin doing major things.
Yeah.
In the community, and even though you do have Black men on there and we need them, but I am just excited to see Black women in business doing major things. This is just that Black girl magic. I love it, and I thank you all so much.
Thank you for your time.
No problem. And you guys enjoy the rest of your week. I'm going to go check out your page to see because I saw a slew of videos on Miss Cherie's page. So I didn't get to go through all of them, but now I'm like, okay, it's probably way more information that I could be gleaning on. So, because I really am interested in this. I don't know, like even with this podcast, I'm like, this is a business opportunity, but I'm just a social activist, social worker with a voice. This is therapeutic for me, but there's also a business opportunity. And I was like, I can't even see that far into it because that's not where I was socialized to look at entrepreneurship. I was socialized to, you get a job, you go to school, you get a job, you work, you retire.
Yep. We talked about that. I've shared that was my roadmap plan. It's malarkey. Okay.
Right.
Malarkey.
I think that's the beautiful part about the education. Also gets you exposure. You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And you don't know even how to go get it. So now we brought it to you and we can guide you and step you through it in the most effective way for you. So it's not about, a path. It's a customized profile for you. Your pathway is just that. It's yours. But we just give you the tools and the resources and the information to do what you will in the manner in which you with support. That's what we're trying to do.
This is so amazing. I haven't heard of a program like this this is amazing. So I am definitely excited. But again, thank you all for coming. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you so much. God
Thank
bless
you.
you.
Bye.
Everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
That concludes our season 1, episode 3, Reclaim the Block. We have to get financially literate, y'all, and get it together so we can start spreading some generational wealth in our communities. So again, thank y'all. Y'all can catch them on the 10kproject.com. See what they have to offer. Get on their emailing list and download their ebook. It's full of information. All right, deuces.